So your previous terms as Speaker was legislatively under entirely sort of different circumstances, as the Senate was controlled by the DFL. Now that both bodies are controlled by the Republicans, what can we expect to be on this legislature agenda?
Well, I think number one, we need to listen to what voters said on election night, and number one, MNsure and Obamacare is broken. I think everybody knows that, and we're going to need to work together to fix that. So that's going to be a top priority.
Is that going to be easier to do now that the legislature is under
I think
one
it is.
party?
I also think that the federal government is going to make some changes now as well that will hopefully cut some of the strings that will give us some flexibility, that we can put some things in place that will really help Minnesotans. I think in addition to that, the governor blocked a tax bill last year, and I think we're still experiencing some surpluses at the state level, and I think there's some targeted places we could put that money back in Minnesotans' pockets through some tax relief, and I think that'll be a big priority for our caucus. I think we also want to do some things to reform government and kind of make it so it works better for people and is more responsive, but also more efficient and not just more efficient but more effective. So I think we're going to work on some of those things, and I also think we need to spend some time focusing on Minnesotans. We need to create an economy that can grow and create jobs so Minnesotans can improve their own situation. And I think we're also going to work on education reform. I think we need to close the achievement gap, and we need to be creative about how we do that. So those are going to be some of our top priorities.
So as you lay out your priorities like this, what can we expect to see as House File 1? Which
we're going to go through a process with our caucus. My guess is, and it probably wouldn't be a surprise, that House File 1 will be some sort of health insurance or health care reform that helps people get more access and more choices and a lower cost on their health insurance coverage. But we haven't gone through that process yet, and we'll involve the caucus and the committee chairs in a process to come up with that agenda. And that was
my question that I'm hoping you might be able to answer for me too, or give me a little insight. The committee structure usually reflects the priorities of the majority caucus. Can we expect to see some changes in the committee structures?
Well, obviously a few retiring members have left committee chairmanships open, so we'll look at that, and then it depends a lot on members and what committees they want to serve on. And I might, regarding the priorities, I might also add transportation. That's something that we haven't forgot about. Roads and bridges are still a priority, and of course we're disappointed in the inability of the governor to move forward on the transportation plan that we put forward last year along with the bonding bill, so we'll continue to work on that as well.
But as far as committees, like I remember last session we had mining and environment combined. Yeah. Do you expect to see some new committees?
We may. We haven't made those decisions yet. Okay. We also for the first time ever had a committee on aging and long-term care because we wanted to represent that those folks were a priority for our caucus, and we did some really innovative and big reform to help folks that are living in those long-term care facilities. So it was a big deal. Now we may do those sorts of things again, and we may have a committee that deals more specifically with mining and pipeline issues. Those have become more prevalent and are certainly important to our state's economy. So you might see that as well.